We are going to continue making our template and finishing that. This template may change over the course of the year, so we may add some things, we may take away some things. But again, just as a reminder, this is all for presentation. So we need to keep our work very clean. You can put images and things in there that you've collected, but we're working in Illustrator because it gives us a cleaner way to work and present our final work. So let's open up our file. Mine is actually under recent, and I can click here to open that up. And I have my guides, I have my frame, I have my labels. They're all still there from my previous save. Right now, I want to go back to another version of this template and kind of pull some things off from there. So I'm going to go to File, Recent Files, and I actually have an older version, one that you may have seen in class. And I want to get this information: assignment, title of design, team members, design measurements, and process. I want to grab all of that information. Now you can type in this information as we're doing this. Remember, it's still hopefully, let's see what typeface we are using. Yes, it's in Helvetica New. And I've added some bold to some subtitles here. But I'm going to copy this over because it already exists. So I'm going to select both of these by holding down Shift and copying, Command C. And then I'm going to paste into our new document. Notice that you can work on multiple documents at once in tabs. And I'm going to paste, Command V. Now, one thing that's happening, if you notice that if I start clicking around with my selection tool, I can select not only the type, but I can also select the frame. I can select our labels, and I don't necessarily want to do that. I want to lock what's my frame is, and I want to lock my labels. So I'm going to organize my layers a bit. And I'm going to go to my layers panel. Right now, everything's in one layer. I want to try to make everything in two layers, where my frame is on a layer by itself. Maybe my labels are in a layer by itself, and maybe all the stuff, all the data that I'm going to be collecting is in another layer. So maybe we'll make 3 layers. So I'm going to click 1, 2 to create new layers. And again, I've just hit this Add New Layer button. And I want to make my frame on the bottom. So I want to make, maybe my data is on layer 3. So I'm going to select both of those items again by Shift selecting and moving this little square all the way to the top. And now those 2 items are on layer 3. It's kind of an easy way to move things around between layers. Next thing I'm going to do is grab my labels by Shift selecting and move that to layer 2, again by dragging that little square up. And again, they've not only changed their color, but they've changed their layer. And now my layers are, everything's on a different layer. I can turn off layers by poking out an eyeball. And I can unhide them by repositioning that or getting that eyeball back. Okay. We have some information here, but I want it positioned in a particular way. Now, I am still using 12-point font, although this type is in upper and lower case. These labels are all capitals. I want to have another 1 centimeter border from the margin or from the border of the frame. So I'm going to pull out another guide. I'm going to move that over so we don't get in the way. Pull out another guide to 2 centimeters. Another horizontal guide to 2 centimeters. And I think I'm going to go grab my box that I used as a gauge before and change that. Make sure to move that up because I want to be able to see it. And I want to change this to 2 centimeter width to, there we go, 2 centimeters. And move that over. And that way I have a nice gauge for that last guide. And then finally one at the bottom. This is actually easier to do because it ends in an even number. Let me zoom in here. If it's ever hard for you to see things, always zoom in. Let me change this to 3 centimeters now. 3 centimeters. And move that up. And now we can pull down a guide. And there's our centimeter border. Or guide rather. And so now I know whatever information I have can always be framed within that margin. So I don't want to ever put any type outside of these guides. It's very organized and clean. I can move this over. And again, I'm following the frames of the type. So let's see the assignment name. If I just want to type this in, this is design. Maybe we can do it over here. Design template. And this doesn't have to be in bold, so I'm going to change this to regular. I'm going to type in our title of design. Well, that's not really a title, so I'll just do the same thing. Design template. Highlight that type and make it in regular. And my team members, I'm going to make up some team members because I'm not assigned to a table. I'm going to choose regular and I'm going to make up names. Let's see. Larry, Sardinicus, and Veronica. Okay. And that's everyone at my table. Design measurements. We will go over measuring in the future. Process. We will talk a lot more about process. This is just, I misspelled design. This is just for inserting, having some kind of information to insert into your template just so you know where to place it. And next we will start inserting some pictures and see how that works. Don't forget to save your work. Command S. And I can zoom out and replace this square, move that outside of my artboard. And so far it's looking pretty good. All right, see you next time.